Acabaram de sair os primeiros resultados dos votos antecipados. E os resultados mostram o Trump vencendo nos Estados Pêndulos. Os republicanos estão vencendo nos votos antecipados e isso é inédito. Isso nunca aconteceu antes. E esses estados, se o Trump está na frente, a margem já é tão grande que não tem como reverter. Veja essa explicação aqui do apresentador da Fox News.
The race in Pennsylvania, according to the polls, is tied. It's also tied in Michigan and Wisconsin. Harris can't afford to lose any of these states because Donald Trump's ahead by at least a point or two in North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. It looks close, but the Trump campaign feels good about where they are because of the early vote. For the first time in history, Republicans are ahead in the early vote. That's in person and in mail ballot combined. They're ahead in Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Nevada, and have cut Democrats' early vote lead in Pennsylvania by half. We'll have more inside information about the early vote later in the show, but the Trump campaign says women and urban voters are down from 2020, and rural voters showing up big. The Democrats are counting on a big turnout on Election Day, which historically rarely happens for them. They're relying on enthusiasm tomorrow, but we haven't seen any enthusiasm so far show up in their early vote. And it has David Axelrod worried.
So what I'm worried about is you're counting on some women who are independent Republican women to come out and vote for Harris. Is that going to materialize? Is the gender gap going to be what you need it to be? Are minority voters going to come out in the numbers of African-American voters in particular, and are you going to get the margins that you want there? So there are a lot of open questions. This race is filled with uncertainty.
Republicans worked their tails off registering new voters and putting together a ground game over the last few years. And we're already starting to see the results. The polls say the race is tied, but there's still a lot we don't know.
I think the pollsters are getting this wrong. We're all missing something because they're giving us the same poll over and over again. They're telling us we're watching a basketball game where every play is a jump ball. Somewhere, somebody is missing something. I think I'm not going to call it a wave, but I think there's a wavelet out there of Republican enthusiasm and registration.
Wall Street, who pays guys millions of dollars to know things before they happen, is seeing the same thing.
The expectation today is that Donald Trump will win the White House in just a few days. We'll know shortly.
Wall Street isn't always right, though. But even our good friend Chuck Todd is predicting a Trump win.
This is not the beginning of something nor the end of something. We continue to be in the middle of something. We're about to do something we haven't done since the 19th century, and that is we just finished 2 straight one-term presidents. The likelihood of this being a one-term presidency is high, not low, because we are a country that has been voting against. We voted against Hillary Clinton in 16 and got Trump. We voted against Trump in 20 and got Biden. I think this is another vote against election, not a vote for.
This race really started with the raid. Biden sending the FBI to turn Trump's house upside down rallied the Republican Party around him. After that, it was overkill. Indictment after indictment after indictment. Even a mugshot. Then unconstitutionally excessive fines and a 6-week show trial. Trump's numbers began to skyrocket. Biden was in trouble, so he gambled and called for an early debate. A gamble he lost so badly he lost the nomination. The Democrats stripped Biden of his delegates and forced him off the stage with a gun to his head. Meanwhile, guns were loaded for Trump, and 45 nearly died in Butler. The assassin was put down by the Biden administration. They stonewalled investigators.
Você sente que a sua saúde masculina não é mais a mesma? Você tem dificuldade para dormir porque vai várias vezes ao banheiro à noite? Sente aquele desconforto, inchaço? Saiba que a retenção urinária afeta a qualidade de vida de muita gente. Se esse é o seu caso, conheça o Max Prost, tratamento natural aprovado pela Anvisa que combate o inchaço e melhora o fluxo urinário. Com apenas 2 cápsulas por dia, ele ajuda a reduzir os seus desconfortos urinários e a fortalecer a imunidade, tudo de forma natural. Max Prost combina ingredientes raros, como vitis vinífera e rizoma de cúrcuma, que ajudam na reposição hormonal e na saúde masculina.
Depois de não ter tido resultado com o finasterida receitado pelo urologista, eu comprei e estou usando o Max Pros tem uns 20 dias. E já na primeira semana, comecei a sentir uma melhora na bexiga. Não sinto mais ardência na hora de fazer xixi, eu sinto meu corpo mais bem regulado.
O Max Prost ainda possui a garantia blindada de 30 dias, satisfação garantida ou seu investimento de volta. Por ser um parceiro novo do canal, você terá 53% de desconto, frete grátis. E ainda por cima vai levar um e-book sobre saúde masculina totalmente grátis. Não perca essa oportunidade. Clique no link e comece a cuidar da sua saúde ainda hoje.